The world remembers the shy 13-year-old girl who stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2018, looking visibly shaken, only to transform into a rock and roll whirlwind that left Howie Mandel reaching for the golden buzzer. It was a clip that racked up hundreds of millions of views, promising the birth of a once-in-a-generation superstar. But then, the trail went cold. For years, the vibrant teenager who was supposed to be the next Janis Joplin seemed to vanish from the mainstream spotlight, leaving fans to speculate about what went wrong behind the scenes. Now, in 2026, the silence has finally been broken, and the truth behind her disappearance reveals a cautionary tale of industry collapses, legal battles, and a radical reinvention that no one saw coming. We are looking at a comeback story that isn't just about music. It's about a young woman reclaiming a life that was almost stolen by the very machine that made her famous. But to understand where she is now, we have to look at the devastating blow that halted her momentum just as she was reaching the top. The initial shock of Courtney's disappearance wasn't a lack of talent, but rather a catastrophic failure of the business empire surrounding her. After the hype of her finale performance, Courtney was whisked away into the high-stakes world of Simon Cowell's Syco Music and Arista Records. It was the ultimate dream for any aspiring artist, yet it quickly turned into a professional nightmare. In a move that sent shockwaves through the music industry, Syco Music essentially folded, undergoing a massive restructuring that left dozens of artists in a state of contractual purgatory. Courtney, still just a teenager, found herself caught in the crossfire of corporate liquidations. Her debut album, which was supposed to capitalize on her global momentum, was shelved indefinitely while lawyers argued over assets and distribution rights. She wasn't just a singer anymore. She was a line item on a balance sheet in a legal graveyard. While her peers were releasing singles and touring the world, Courtney was forced into a mandatory hiatus that many feared would end her career before it truly began. But while the lawyers were fighting in boardrooms, a much darker set of rumors began to circulate online about her well-being. During the years between 2021 and 2024, Courtney became a digital ghost, sparking a wave of concern and wild speculation across social media. Because she wasn't releasing new music or making television appearances, the vacuum was filled with increasingly shocking theories. Some suggested that the intense physical strain of her signature, screaming, vocal style had permanently damaged her vocal cords, leaving her unable to perform the hits that made her a star. Others whispered about the pressures of early fame, wondering if she had offed her career intentionally to escape the public eye. The reality was far less scandalous but much more frustrating. She was simply waiting. She spent those lost years in the north of England, far from the glitz of Hollywood, reportedly frustrated by a management team that couldn't find her a path forward. She eventually joined the M&S agency in a desperate attempt to jumpstart her live performances, but even that partnership seemed to hit a wall. It was a period of intense isolation, where the golden girl of AGT had to face the possibility that her 15 minutes of fame had already expired. Yet, what the industry didn't realize was that Courtney was quietly plotting a move that would change everything. The turning point finally arrived when Courtney decided to stop waiting for a rescue from a major label and took the radical step of going completely independent. This was a massive gamble. In the music industry, losing the backing of a powerhouse like Simon Cowell usually means the end of the road. However, by 2025, Courtney had successfully navigated her way out of her restrictive contracts and began the process of self-funding her own vision. She traded the polished, radio-ready pop sound that executives wanted for a gritty, unrefined rock and soul aesthetic that reflected her true personality. This era was defined by the release of her debut album, Lil Miss Jagged, a title that served as a direct middle finger to those who expected her to stay the shy little girl from the talent show circuit. She wasn't just singing covers anymore. She was writing her own narrative, often late into the night in home studios, far away from the corporate interference that had stalled her for so long. The transformation was startling, and it wasn't just her sound that had changed. Her entire persona had shifted from a kid act to a formidable frontwoman. But this new independence also meant she was finally free to speak about the mental toll the last few years had taken on her. One of the most revealing moments of her 2026 comeback has been the raw honesty regarding her internal struggles, which she exposed through her haunting track, Monsters. For years, viewers saw a girl who was socially anxious but musically fearless. However, the lyrics of her new work suggest that the anxiety never truly went away, it just evolved. She has hinted at the DMN, near impossible expectations placed on her as a child star, describing the feeling of being a puppet for a television narrative that didn't allow for her to grow up. Some fans have speculated that she suffered a breakdown during the pandemic years, but Courtney's camp has reframed this as a breakthrough. She chose to be open about her journey through anxiety and the monsters of the industry, using her platform to highlight how the entertainment business often fails to protect its youngest stars. This level of vulnerability has created a deeper, more mature bond with her audience, proving that her value wasn't just in her voice, but in her resilience. She survived the SHT that the industry threw at her, and that survival is exactly what led to the massive rumors currently swirling about her next big move. As we move further into 2026, the momentum behind Courtney Hadwin has reached a fever pitch, with industry insiders suggesting a full circle moment is imminent. There are credible whispers that she is in talks for a massive, Legends, return to the America's Got Talent stage, not as a contestant, but as a headline guest to showcase her evolution. Her recent live performances at the Clive Davis pre-Grammy Gala and her sold-out European tour dates have proven that her comeback isn't just a nostalgia trip, it's a total takeover. She is now being managed by those who prioritize her longevity over quick viral clips, and the results are undeniable. From performing alongside Carlos Santana to being hailed as a rock savior by veteran critics, Courtney has effectively killed the child star stigma that destroys so many others. She has proven that you can be exposed to the world at 13, lose everything by 18, and still reign supreme by 21. It's a story that challenges everything we think we know about reality TV fame. So, as Courtney prepares for her biggest year yet, we have to ask, was the disappearance actually the best thing that ever happened to her?